Hey, what's up YouTube? Houston here, and for those of you just finding my YouTube channel, welcome. Please remember to hit that subscribe button and that bell for those of you that's been following me and supporting me. Salute. And for my favorite patrons, always, double salute. Now, today's video, we're actually going to talk about how to start a business in Delaware with bad credit, okay? Especially like you may be trying to get into like real estate investing and stuff like that. Well, we're going to actually talk about how do you actually set up the company. Now, here's the outline. We're going to talk about what really is the best state to set up your business in, the best lendable NAICS code, the best banks you should open your business a bank account with, which net 30s you should start your new business with, the easiest first business credit cards, and what business lenders you should get first for as a business loan. Now, here's the thing about it. People love running to Delaware to start their businesses, their LLCs, their corporations and stuff. And here's the reason why. One is privacy protection. When you file in Delaware, you do not need to disclose your directors and officers' names in that state. Okay? So that's supposedly gives you full anonymity. Excuse me for the mispronunciation. All right? However, there's some other things to be added to that. It does not tax business transactions, okay? And your larger major corporations, that's the reason that they go to Delaware to set up their business. They don't have an inheritance tax, no capital shares on their stocks, and transfer taxes. All right, so those are some of the prime benefits of why people try to start a corporation in Delaware. Now, here's the thing that you need to understand. If I was a small business owner, I would not start a business in these states unless I actually reside in these states. So that's Nevada, Wyoming, Delaware, South Dakota. Most people start their businesses in these states because they're trying to minimize their tax liability, okay, and their exposure, right? Let's talk about that. So, what ends up happening, people may find somebody selling chef corporations in these states, and I want to address that, but first let me help you understand. If you're trying to start a business in Delaware, and you do not reside in Delaware, okay, here's the problem. Especially if you're a new business owner, a small business owner, you don't have that much protection. Okay, and plus you still have to pay their state fees and file your state taxes, so you'll still end up coming out of pocket to pay more money just to be in that state. Another thing, it can slow down the process of you raising capital from your local lenders. All right, so say that you're in Texas and you have a corporation in Delaware or LLC in Delaware. Well, here's the thing about it. One, since you reside in Texas and do business in Texas, Texas law supersedes Delaware's law. Okay? So that's one thing about it. If you're not doing at least 6 months of business in Delaware, actually, you're not really fully protected. All right. Now let's talk about the funding aspect of it before we talk more about this chef corporations. A lot of lenders, when you are residing in one state and your corporation is in another state, okay, so you're trying to get funding, like with business loans, okay, business loans mainly. What they do, they look at, okay, you're in this state. Did you file taxes in this state, right? What was the revenue that you filed taxes on in this state? Okay? Then they're going to ask you, what was the taxes in this state? All right? So now you're caught up in this, I have to pay taxes and file taxes in both states. So this is why I tell people to always choose the state to set up in that you actually reside in. because it's going to give you more leverage. Now, here's another thing. Say that, like we're in this COVID situation, right? Say that your state that you reside in, say that you stay in the state of Texas. So Texas decided to say, hey, we're going to give brand new businesses $10,000 to help them out. Okay. Well, here's the problem. You're not, unless you have a foreign registration in that state, then you do not qualify for that money. Okay, you do not qualify that money. Because your business is actually in Delaware. Okay, so this is why I tell people, why not just set the corporation up in the state that you're in, because it's going to be easier to get funding. So this is one of the key reasons I tell people that those states that you run into to avoid taxes, they're going to catch you on the other end of that. Okay? Yeah, you may not pay state taxes, like Texas don't have state taxes, right? Okay? But at the same time, you may have other fees that you may have to pay. So you having a corporation in Delaware, that does not omit you from paying those other fees. And again, because you're not actually doing business in that state of Delaware, you don't have that strong protection that you assume that you have. Okay? Now, that being said, let's talk about this chef corporation. Here's the reason that I don't encourage people to invest in corporations. One, if that corporation in Delaware, okay, has not kept up with the taxes, all right, that's going to create a challenge for you to get funding. If that Delaware chef corporation has not kept up with the bank accounts, that's going to delay you getting funding as well. Now, there's also one more thing that you have to understand. You have to know this, because this is very important. All right? Sometimes these chef corporations, they have on their file what is called phantom debt. So this is where somebody has set up a chef corporation in one of those states I mentioned, Delaware, South Dakota, Nevada, Wyoming, right? So when you buy a chef corporation in that state, that chef corporation they set up may have got approved for some business credit cards. And when they got approved for those business credit cards, they decided to liquidate the credit cards and never pay the company back, because they dissolved the corporation, right? But the debt didn't go away. So what ends up happening, if you buy that chef corporation and that phantom debt pops up, you're financially liable for that debt. So this is the reason I tell people, we actually had a client in Florida. He did exactly that. We had a couple clients. And unfortunately for him, his situation was he trusted his partner to buy a chef corporation. His partner bought the chef corporation. And they found out it was $89,000 a debt on the corporation. Well, guess what? Hello? Thank you for activating this chef corporation. Can we get our $89,000? Okay? So that's the reason, like, now this guy is on the hook for $89,000. And he did not actually create the debt, but because he bought that chef corporation, this is the reason I tell you guys, is to always, it's better to start with a new chef corporation, especially as a new business, because most chef corporations, they haven't kept up with the taxes, nor have they kept up with the bank statements. And yeah, there are companies out there that can fabricate the taxes and the bank statements, but you really playing with some gray area there, and it can definitely get you caught up. Okay, so you have to be careful on that. Now, moving forward, in terms of you setting up a Delaware corporation, choosing a lendable NAICS code. This is very important, because in terms of, like, if you're in the transportation business, say you're a trucking company, you're starting a trucking company, All right, if you put transportation, most business bank lenders, they look at transportation as a high risk business. So you would have to look at something like a courier or something like that, but not transportation. It's too risky. Restaurant, you don't want to be a restaurant. You want to do food delivery. If you have questions about structuring your business properly, then go to HoustonMcMillan.net or click the link in the description. Okay, set up a consultation. But so you understand that the right NAICS code will help you get the maximum amount of funding. Because again, like if you're trying to get into real estate, you do not want to approach a lender and say, well, I'm going to do real estate investing. No. Okay? It's too high of a risk. Restaurants, too high of a risk. Okay? So these are the things. Credit repair companies, too high of a risk. They close the door in your face with a credit repair company. So these are the things that you have to understand if you're going to be starting a business in Delaware. Okay? Now, here's the things that you have to do for the foundation, all right? When you're setting up the business, again, talking about the right NAICS code, more lendable NAICS code. Now, some of you all may have already been operating as a DBA, doing business as, right? And you may have an EIN number. However, if you're going to be restructuring the business over to a LLC or a corporation or an S corporation, something like that, you cannot use that same use that same EIN number, because you can get it mixed up and create an audit. All right, so that's the reason I'm telling you that. Now, my mistake, I'm sharing it with you. Don't do it. All right, again, if you need help, go to three-way funding, schedule a consultation, click the link in the description. Either one of those, you can schedule a consultation. Opening up the business bank account. This is so important. The reason it's important because most of the time, when you're starting a business in Delaware or wherever, the main focus is you're trying to raise business funding. And one of the things I keep telling people, that you can have 100 paydex score, that does not guarantee you any funding. However, these banks here, American Express, Chase Capital, Bank of America, okay, they report to the business credit bureaus. Now, let me help you understand something. Small Business Financial Exchange, the SBFE, they're more important than Dun & Bradstreet, okay? They actually feed the information to Dun & Bradstreet. Okay, so that's the reason I tell people, don't focus on a Dunn's file, a Dun & Bradstreet file away. Focus on building a relationship with the banks, and so that they can have a better internal score. That means if you have to open up a personal account and a business account. Now with American Express, unfortunately, they don't have personal accounts, but they have savings accounts and they have business accounts. Okay, so that's an option for you. Chase, they report to Experian, Small Business Financial Exchange, Dun & Bradstreet, and Equifax. So I usually tell people, if you're going to open up a business checking account, these are the banks that I would suggest you do. Now, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, they report to Small Business Financial Exchange. By the way, something else that you need to know about this so you can understand, okay? American Express, Chase, Capital One, Citibank, U.S. Bank, PNC, which bought out BBVA, and SunTrust, which is Truist, with BB&T. Okay, so they report to Small Business Financial Exchange. But they also pull your FICO 8 credit score. So in terms of when you're trying to apply for like a business credit card, yes, they're going to pull your personal credit, okay? They're going to pull your FICO 8. Now, if you don't know the difference between your FICO 8 credit score and your FICO 9 credit score, the link below this description will allow you to pull your real credit score. If you pull your real credit score, you want to get the one with the most data points, which is the $39.99 program. If you get that and schedule a 30-minute consultation, I'll go over with you line by line about your personal credit, and we can talk more about some of the best credit cards to start out with, okay? Which we're going to briefly talk about that in this video as well. So now you have an understanding. Now, here's the thing about it. Again, people know I'm not a big fan of net 30s. However, the reason that I choose these particular net 30s is because I'm trying to build a relationship and build up my business credit file as fast as possible. And so one of the things is making weekly deposits into your business bank account once you have that open. That's one of the fastest way. Also, these net 30s here I'm showing you. So you have SureC reports to Equifax, Credit Safe, Small Business Financial Exchange, and Sonia, and National Association of Credit Management. But you have to be in business at least 90 days. Now, here's the thing about it. I tell you guys, you do not have to have a whole lot of net 30s, net 15s, net 20s. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. Take the money. All you need is maybe about 3 to 5 net 30s on the file. And the rest of the money, just make sure you're making weekly deposits, okay? That will build up your business credit and help you get higher credit limits faster than just buying a whole lot of net 30s, okay? Now you have Summa Office Supplies, which reports to Experian and Equifax, but they will give you a reference number to share with the other credit bureaus. Then you have Quill. Quill reports to Experian and Dun and Bradstreet. Now, for those of you that's concerned about Granger, Seaton, and Uline, they're fine, but I like Quill because they do have a component in it. If you're one of those people that have to bootstrap your business to get it off the ground, then hey, this is the one that you want to get, all right? Wise Business Plans. Now, you do not have to get a business plan from them, but they do have other business credit products that you can actually promote and invest in, and those will report to Equifax, Experian, Dun and Bradstreet as well. Then you have NAB. NAB have the Business Credit Boost and the Business Loan Builder. And for some of these, I'll put the link below in the description as well for you to check out. The reason is, in terms of you understanding why, is because you want to have that business credit file built up, but you don't have to go overboard with the net 30s. But also by you making your weekly deposits, again, this is building up the business credit profile, okay? And with NAB, of course, it's going to give you your business credit rating as well as your Experian personal credit score also, your FICO 9. Now, the easiest business credit cards that you can get, even if you have bad credit, low credit score, about a 580, is the Capital One Spark Classic Business Card. This one is because it's going to report to Small Business Financial Exchange, and that information is going to be picked up by Dun and Bradstreet. Then you have Wells Fargo Secured Business Credit Card. Again, you have to pay money up front from $500 to $25,000, but again, because you want that data to report somewhere in the business credit profile to help boost up your business credit. Now, you have DIVVY. DIVVY has two systems, okay? They have instant line of credit, and then if you have low enough credit, then what they'll do, they'll offer you a credit builder program, business credit builder program, where you prepay the account. And I always tell people, do it, because they're still going to report to Small Business Financial Exchange and Dun and Bradstreet. So I would tell you to still do it because all you want is the data, okay? So the more data you have on your business credit file, the more opportunities you have to get business credit cards and higher lines of credit. And they pull from FICO 9. Now, if you have good credit, okay, and you just trying to go after like loans and stuff like that, you just need a fast loan or whatever, you have at least a 720, Brad's Financial Group may be able to help you, all right? So if you're setting up your business in Delaware and you don't want to go through a SBA loan, which I would with a 720 because you're getting cheaper money, but if you need fast money, then Brass Financial Group is probably one that you want to check out. Seek business capital. There's a lot of people that really don't like their business ethics, but hey, you know, if the situation comes to push and shove, at least a 680, they may be able to help you get some funding as well. Now, here's ACCION business loans. They help small business owners and stuff like that. So 575, some areas a 550 credit score, but having revenue in the business, they may be able to help you with a business loan. Now, if you starting up a business, you have to have at least 12 months of cash flow projections. Okay, but they want you to get a referral from either SCORE or Small Business Development Center in order for them to help you. Okay. So if you have any more questions about business credit, personal credit, again, click the link in the description or head over to 3-Way Funding or HoustonMcMiller.net. Thank you.